today, like I said, we're going to kind of finish up with our linear equations. So go ahead and put your name, today's date. Today is the 14th, 10/14. Okay, and so the front side is just a little bit of review. So it's all stuff that we've done before. Excuse me. So the first section there says graphing in slope-intercept form. Who remembers what slope-intercept form is? Yes, y equals mx plus b. What does the m stand for? Slope. Good, this is slope. What does the b stand for? Y-intercept. Good, hence why it's called slope-intercept form. Good. So in my two examples here are steps to graph. We're going to take the linear equations. We're going to physically graph them. The first thing you need to do is make sure it's in the slope form, because otherwise it's going to be very hard to graph. The next step you're going to do is you're going to plot the y-intercept, that b value. You'll use the slope to create more points, right? So remember, slope is rise over run. And then using your ruler, you'll connect your lines. So in example 1, is that, first of all, in the right form? Yeah. Heck yeah, it is. So now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump to number 2. We're going to plot the y-intercept. What is my y-intercept? Ooh, there you go. +2. Now remember, that is your y-intercept. Show me with your arms, which one's the y? Straight line down. Good. So maybe you want to, I don't know, label? I think that would be a good choice. But be careful. This is a +2, so you need to go up 2. And so one of the issues I think we were having before was not knowing if it went up or down. Okay, what is the slope in this problem? 1/2. Good. And if it's 1/2, what does that mean? Which way are you? Up 1, not over. Which way? Rise over run. No. So go to right 2? Right 2. Yeah, so I'm looking for right or left. Good. Okay. Up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. And then if I wanted to reverse it. Down 1 over 2. I mean, down 1 to the left. To the left 2. Yes, because over could mean many things. I don't know if over means to the right or to the left. And then take your ruler and connect that bad boy. I'm hoping this is all like coming back to you. You're like, yeah, I could do this. Yep. Yeah, especially when I give you a quiz on this thing. And you're like, yeah, I can do this. Good. Okay, let's do the same thing. Actually, why don't you try number 2? And we'll see if we get the same graph. Try example 2. You can just turn that x to a 1, right? Mm-hmm. How do you want to, What was the question? I heard a question. Can I give you my paper? What do you mean? You want to display your paper? I think you should come try. Come on, Zara. I believe in you.
What is it wrong?
What if it's wrong? Then we learn something new.
No, Alvin. No.
That's a good thing.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So, does your graph start at +1? Does it cross the y-axis? Does hers? Yes or no?
You're not even answering.
Is her graph crossing at the right place?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. +1. Good. Now, what's the slope in this problem? Negative. So there's no sign there. So your slope is -1 over what? +1.
See, I got it wrong.
That's okay. So let's fix it. What should you do?
Go to the left.
Oh, so this is rise over run.
Oh, go down and then go to the right one.
Down 1 to the right 1. Okay, go fix it. Good. That's a good thing. You know that when you make a mistake, what's it called? Oh shoot, is it Dendrons? neurons didn't, oh shoot, what is the name of it? Your brain makes a new pathway between its neurons and it learns something new. That's literally how you learn, is by making mistakes. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. It creates new pathways between your brains. So it goes down one to the right one. So you had just a positive graph, Soraya, just quite the opposite. So a negative slope.
Don't you keep going?
Yeah, but I'm not going to. But yes, you do keep going. Good. So positive slope should be looking like you're going up a hill, and then a negative slope looks like you're going down a hill. All right. Now, in example 3, I've got something a little different in example 3 because I give it to you in standard form. Who remembers what standard form is?
When it's not solved.
When it's not solved for you. So it looks like this. AX plus BY equals C. The A, the B, and the C are just numbers, and they can be any number. So A, B, and C are just constants, is another way you can say it, but these are numbers. So essentially, yes, it's like what you just said. It's not solved for you. So what I need to do is I need to rewrite the equation before I try to graph it. Because right now, this is not in the right form. I don't know where to graph this picture. So off to the side over here, I'm going to rewrite this equation. So I want to get, what? So I'm trying to get the y by itself is essentially what I'm doing. I need to push everything else over to the other side. So what should I move over first?
Minus 6x.
Beautiful.
10 and 6.
Minus 6x, minus 6x.
Cancels out.
Cancels out. I've got negative 2y equals, now can I put these two together? No, why not?
Because it's one is an x and one's not.
One's got an x and one's not. So how am I going to rewrite it?
Divide minus 6x.
I could do that.
Divide.
So I'm going to go the opposite way only because I want to get the x, right? I want to get the x first and then the b value. You're still right. But when I'm putting it in slope-intercept form, I want to put the x value first. And why did I put plus 10? Because it's a positive 10. Good. Now I've got one more step to get the y by itself. Divide everything, I like that you said that, Carly, by negative 2. Now be so careful with your signs. This is what I saw people tripping up on the other week. You get y equals, now be careful, a negative 6 divided by a negative 2 is what? A positive 3. Good. And what is a positive 10 divided by a negative 2? Negative 5. Good. Now your equation's in the correct form. Now I can graph it. So the first thing I'm going to do is plot the y-intercept. Where is my y-intercept? At negative 5. Good. So I have to go down 5. 3, 4. Right? Negative 5. So it's at the bottom part of the y value. And my slope is what? Positive 3 over 1. So which way am I going to move?
Up 3 to the right 1.
Good. Up 3 to the right 1. Look, if this helps you right here with the arrows, do it. It helps me. I still to this day do that. And I'm a teacher. So you should do it too. And then connect. Is this a positive slope or a negative slope?
Positive.
Good, positive. I'm going up a hill, very nice. Okay, so kind of coming back to you a little bit now.
If that was the one go to left or to the right?
To the right, it's a positive. Yep, to the right. Now, the bottom two, again, we've definitely talked about before, but I just wanted to remind us of the two very special cases. that are vertical and horizontal lines. So a vertical line is written in the form x equals a. So it represents wherever it crosses the x-axis. So here's my arrow right here. Here's my line. This one crosses the x-axis. And at what number on the x-axis does it cross?
3.
3. Good. So because it crosses the x-axis, my equation is x equals 3. That's an easy way to remember. It touches the x-axis. Horizontal is written y equals a, where a is the intercept, and we write it as y equals because it crosses the y-axis.
1.
Hold on. Oh, no, friends, this is not 1.
-1?
Ah, -1, it's underneath. So my equation is y equals -1. -1 and +1 are very different.
I thought there was a big arrows after that.
It's okay. It's all good. All right, so is it coming back? We're remembering a little bit?
Yep.
Good. Now, are you ready to learn a shortcut?
No. Well, yeah. Well, who doesn't love shortcuts?
I love a good shortcut. So, in the problems on the front here, right, if I gave you a graph in standard form, you had to do a lot of math to figure out what the slope is. I'm going to teach you a trick so that you don't have to do this, and you can keep it in standard form and graph it. Okay, so you don't have to do all this work over here. So shortcut, flip to the back. All right, so here's how it works. Your equation, first of all, has to be in standard form for this little trick to work. And if it's in standard form, here's what you do. You will cover up the y, and if you solve for the x, that's called the x-intercept. So you're going to cover up the y and solve for x. Then you'll cover up the x and solve for y. That's called the y-intercept. You'll plot those two numbers on the graph, and then that's it. You'll identify the slope, and that's all you have to do. It's way faster, way easier. You don't have to do all this extra algebra, okay? So let's take a look. Here's what I mean. Okay, for number 1, we're going to start by solving for x. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm literally going to take my finger, and I'm going to cover up the y value, okay? Right now, what does your equation look like if I take that out?
3x equals -6.
Good. 3x equals -6. And I'm going to solve that.
Divide by 3.
You divide it by 3. What do you get? So 3 times what number gives you -6? Yeah, it's -2. So your x value is -2. So now, coming over to my graph, I'm going to label my x and my y here. Coming over to my graph, I'm going to go on the x-axis, and I'm going to plot the number -2. No, so it's the x-axis. This one's the x.
Yeah, no. Go to
Not down to the left 2. Has to be on the x-axis. This one's y. We're talking about the x.
I know that.
Okay, so let's go to the left 2. That's -2 on the x-axis. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to figure out the y. So now again, I'm going to put my finger over it, and I've got what is my y equation?
That's -2 or just?
That's a -2, yeah.
-2 equals -6.
Good. -2y equals -6. So yes, -2 times 3 gives me -6. So on the y-axis, I'm going to plot a point at +3, and that is up. 1, 2, 3. And now you have your 2 points. You're going to take your ruler and connect them. That's it.
Wait, what? Why did you just come over to me?
Well, where?
Wait, you just, for my ruler?
Yeah, I'm using my ruler, and I'm just going to connect the 2. And there we go. There's my line.
Shortcut. Oh, that's how you solve
Shortcut. Huh?
it. That's how you solve it.
That's how you solve it. So now let's look at it very carefully. Is this a positive slope or a negative slope?
Positive.
It's positive slope. And what is the slope in this problem? What's the rise over the run? Use the 2 points you got right there. What's the rise and what's the run?
3/2.
Up 3/2. That's your slope. Ta-da! Then you're done. Wasn't that faster and easier? All right, let's try a couple more. I think you're going to start to like them a little bit more. So it's less algebra. Well, it's still algebra, but it's easier equations. Well, let's try the next one. Again, like I said, the more we do, the better you're going to feel about it. Okay, first I'm going to ask what you do is just label your x and your y axis. If it's not labeled for you, always label it. All right, first one I'm going to do is, it doesn't actually matter what order you decide to do, but I'm going to start by covering up the y. Okay, cover up the y, use your finger. What do you get for your x equation? Oh my gosh. X equals 4. There's no work to do there. That's it. That's the whole equation. So go to positive 4 on the x-axis. Which way is that?
Go to the right 4.
To the right 4. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. There's 1. Now I got to do the y value. So I'm going to cover up the x. What's your equation?
2y.
Good. A positive 2y equals 4. So yeah, 2 times 2 gives you 4. Your y value is 2. Which way do I go? Up 2. Very nice. It's a positive 2. 1, 2. And now there's my 2 points. I take my ruler and I connect. You do have to use a ruler. You can't just eyeball this.
Oh, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, well, fix it.
But it looks fine.
Fix it.
Oh, crap.
From now on, use a ruler. Okay, last part. Is this a positive or a negative slope? This is a negative slope. Okay, what's the rise and what's the run? Hold on.
4?
It's not up 2. You're going
Down 1/2.
okay, yeah. So you're going down 2 to the right 4. Down 2 to the right 4, which, like Nico just said, we can reduce to negative 1/2. Yes, you should. Well, technically, yes. Am I going to count it wrong if you put negative 2/4? No, but I'm going to write reduce next to it. Okay, do you think you can finish up?
Can we do one more?
Okay, we can do one more. Why don't we do...
Let's do the 4. The 6. 4. Please do 6. Yeah, do 6.
Okay, I'll do 6. And then I'll let you do the rest.
That's 5. The first one for number 6, that's 5.
Okay, so let's cover up the y. What's your equation for the x?
9x.
9x equals 45. Still write down the equation. Okay, get into the habit. What does your x value have to be?
What?
9 times what gives you 45?
5.
Good. So your x value is 5. Which way do I go if your x value is 5?
Up 5.
To the right 5.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to cover up my x. What's the equation for your y?
Positive 15y equals 45, which is
Good. Positive 15y. If you want to put a positive there, I'm cool with that too. All right, but just make sure you're looking at the signs. And so what does this number have to be? Y equals what?
y equals 3.
Good. Yep. 15 times 3. Okay, and so which way does that go? Up 3. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we connect, and then we're going to write down our slope.
This one is a negative.
This is, yes, this is down a hill. This is a negative slope.
Down 3 and 4.
What? Friend. Try again.
What? I mean, up 3.
Try
Wait,
again.
what?
Try again. Hold on. Negative slope.
Down 3 over 5?
Over 5. Hence, hello, look right here. It should be the same numbers. Down 3 over 5. Good. Down 3, -3 over 5. Ta-da! So there's your little shortcut.
That's easy.
Right? So you don't have to do as much math. I love it. It's faster. Yes.
Wait,
Nope. You're going to try the rest.
No,
What?
I just think how you know it's a negative of the positive. Do you look for the y and see was it negative?
So if it's a negative slope, so if it's going this way, going down, then that means it's negative. If it's going the opposite way, then that's a positive. So this right here, -3 over 5, you can also write this as like this. That means the same thing. I'm just saying that this is a negative slope, so I have to have a negative sign somewhere in there. I'm just saying the whole thing's negative. Does that answer your question? Kind of?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you've got 1, 2, 3, you got 5 left. You can finish, and then we'll check them. I know.
Should have did that the whole time.
Well, look, I got to teach you both ways because there are some humans who like I have some other people who like the algebra way. So I am a woman who's cool with you doing whatever pleases you. All right, you finish those up and then we'll check them. I'll give you about 5 minutes because I'm going to finish mine too.
You have to do the equations, right?
Yes, please write the equations because these are your notes. And so I want you to have.
Recap part solved is not the negative or positive. Oh, number 2.
You do have to write what? Okay, just wait. We're going to check them in about a few minutes.
Is this like, say if it's like 4 over 4, that makes like a whole, right? So 1.
It would make a 1, yeah?
This small stuff, so that's positive, so
Positive and a positive, yeah? Oh shoot, I put them in the wrong spot. Oh, Mr. Mouse, I'm making mistakes.
Put up the 3x equals 3 and y equals 3.
Yeah. That is correct. Make sure you're writing down what the slope is after you've graphed your points. Got about 3 more minutes. Yeah, please do 7 and 8 as well.
Oh, okay. Do we have to go over 1?
I don't know what that means.
Like, because we don't want to put it right on the line.
Correct.
We go over 1?
Correct.
But if it's negative, we go.
Correct.
Love that word.
Correct.
Yes.
So it tells you which, it's telling you either on the x-axis or the y-axis to cross. Cool. Got another minute, and then we're going to check them.
I'm 7 and 8.
So 7 and 8 tell you which axis to cross on. So if it says y equals, that means you're crossing the y-axis. Yep, and then if it's the x equals, you're crossing the x-axis. We will get there. All right, you ready to check the first ones?
Yep.
All right, let's check and make sure if you didn't write down the slope, you write down the slope. Did you get number 3, x equals 3 and y equals 3? And so your slope is negative 3 over 3. So you can reduce that to be negative 1. For number 4, your x value was negative 5. Your y value was 4. It's a positive slope. You go up 4 over 5. And then the last one, number 5.
I know I was right.
You did or you didn't? You know what's tricky about number 5? The negative and negative.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, so if you didn't, how about I zoom in on that one? So like if you didn't, you had to divide both of them by a negative sign to get a positive 4. So that one was a little tricky. Yeah, so so just be careful of signs. That seems to be like our biggest issue. We all know how to do everything, but then it's the signs that trip us up just a little bit.
Oh, we went through negative 5.
Up or down, which way?
Up.
So you can see which one, 7 and 8?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. 7 and 8. Okay, so 7, you're crossing the y-axis at negative 5. And you're crossing the x-axis at negative 1. Did you flip-flop them?
Yes.
So the letters itself tell you which axis to cross. Yes. Oh my gosh, just get back his shoes. Gross. Gross. You're right. So if it says y equals, that means you're crossing the y-axis. If it says x equals, that means you're crossing the x-axis. So it's essentially like flipped.
Oh, okay.
From what you think. If it says y equals, it's the same direction as the x. If it says x equals, it's the same direction as y. All right. How many of you prefer this way over the writing the equation out in the y equals mx plus b form? Raise your hand.
I like both ways.
How many of you like the y equals mx plus b way more? Just so I know. I figured it was this way was going to be what you liked, but I have to teach you both ways so you know.
I like both.
Because you might get an equation in slope intercept, so got to know how to graph it. Okay, well, my loves, we are finished for today. So here's the deal. Tomorrow, here's what my game plan was for you. No, these are your notes. This goes right into your binder. You keep them. Not for today. But we'll do it another time for sure. I mean, actually, I probably could. You all did great today.
Definitely earned it.
Yeah, you guys did. You did great today. So here's the deal. Tomorrow, I'm going to let you, if you did not do that discussion post, you can do that discussion post. I also have for you, though, tomorrow, I do have a practice worksheet that looks exactly the same as what we just did. So it's up to you.
That's like extra credit.
No. You still have to do this. But if you want, I can give it to you today. And you can take it home.
Extra credit?
No, it's still homework. Well, not homework. It's still work that's expected to get a grade for. So I'm either going to give it to you tomorrow, and you can do it tomorrow in class, or if you want to take it right now and get started on it, you can take it right now and get started, and then tomorrow not have to do this in class. Up to you. If you want it now, come get it now. If you want to wait till tomorrow, I am cool with you waiting until tomorrow. Super up to you. And notice that at the top it says A2, so it goes right behind A1.
You can do whatever.
Yeah, I could do it in the intercepts way that I just taught you. Yes. Oh.
You got that
Hey.
stuff, Mr. Masso.
What stuff?
Got that stuff.
What? Like sickness?
Yes.
I know. I feel like I sound crazy today too. It's not recording. Yeah, you guys have 2 more minutes, but